I met a Gypsy.
Speaking of the Yamaha thing, this is for the CDR boys. You guys are all going to be on 26 Yamahas, I believe. Aaron, you only rode the bike in stock form for the first time just a couple of weeks ago at Appen. What's the decision to ride the 26, and is it a big step over last year's bike? Short time to commit to a new motorcycle, so there's obviously something there that you like. Phil, obviously you've had a bit of time on the previous model as well.
Well, I was on a house hockey not too long ago, and I love the bike, so he just gave me a bike and told me to run it, and I love it so far. It's really all I can speak about it.
Yeah, like you said, we've had I don't know how many weeks it's been since we jumped on, but the decision was pretty easy for us. This model was just an improvement on the previous model, which was already a big step in development, so everything was positive, so it was a really easy step for us to change and just commit to ride on the 26 this season.
How's the bike rank for you, Phil? I guess I'll change the angle of the question. You've ridden a lot of Yamahas in the past, and the club bike is, you see what it's doing in the US now. Coming to the Australian factory team, you've got factory KYB suspension that club doesn't have. Where does this bike rank in terms of factory level or equipment that you've raced in the past?
Yeah, I mean, my club bike was very good. Obviously, I was getting help from KYB in the US, so my bike was, I feel, pretty top notch. But then coming down here, and you do actually have access to factory suspension, KYB and stuff. It's really good, but with all those parts and stuff, you're only as good as the people that you have working on them. So with the CDR guys like Gary Ben and everyone, like, for me, it's really cool to harness that intelligence and stuff and put it into a motorcycle. So obviously, I feel like I have the most Supercross experience out of my two teammates. So just kind of trying to feed through some of the stuff and develop a new bike and help them for next year and stuff like that when Jed and Aaron ride it. So, but yeah, the Yamaha power, you can't beat it. So I'm looking forward to getting some good starts and stuff with it. And just working through it. Obviously, everyone knows I was on a Cowie up in Canada, so but it's good to see a blue front fender again.
What's the CDR facility like down there for testing and development?
The race shop's like a doctor's office, so I feel bad even going in there with my shoes on. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing. Coming down here to Australia, because I'm used to Club MX and Supercross and stuff like that. And down here, it's a little bit different, so I got to get used to that. But we got a bunch of good tracks down around Melbourne, and Dino was nice enough to let me go out to his place and stuff, and we have a place in Torquay as well, so it's good. I just got to get used to riding in cold weather down there.
Cedric, this one's for you, mate. What do you know, or what have you followed about the Australian Championship? Obviously, year on year, it's got better and better. I think you're probably a pretty cool addition to this championship, but did you know much about this before? Had you watched any of the coverage? And I guess what excites you about racing this championship?
For sure I watched the races. I was in AUS SX in 22, and on the Friday there was the Australian Championship, and I watched the race, and I've seen that the top 10 were really fast. All the guys were really fast, and coming from Europe, I kind of won in Germany, in the UK, in France, and this is something special to be here. And being called by Yari for the team, it was like a big surprise for me, and I'm really excited about tomorrow and the rest of the season for sure. And I will try my best to put my names on some podium this season for sure.
Dino, mate, I think Phil made an interesting point that you guys are coming over here competing with the local riders for a seat, but with that you're also bringing a lot of attention. You've got your own big sponsors that kind of promote the series as well. This year we got Monster, Boost Mobile as the title sponsors of the series. So have you felt the kind of swell of this series growing year on year that you've been here and you race all over the world? Can you kind of feel that this series in particular is like really starting to get momentum and become more legitimized, maybe because of the presence of some of you guys?
Yeah, I think this series is definitely getting better. I think Bailey and they're doing a good job at expanding it, getting more sponsors involved. And just look at Melbourne last year, like that it was a huge event. There were so many people there, and that was pretty cool. I mean, there was a couple decent guys there, but the fans were there to see us. But no, like they're doing a really good job, and yeah, it's pretty cool to be part of it. And you know, like Phil, I'm getting towards the end of my career, and like I said, I love being here, and it's a good series. It's fun, and no, the tracks are really good too. I enjoy the tracks, and obviously Yariv really looks after me at Honda Australia, so I think it's just going to keep getting bigger and better. And you know, the thing that I really like about what Adam and everyone's doing is like they constantly are working to get the series better. Even just like the tough blocks, he's worked hard to get, you know, these special tough blocks that he's all proud of, which is cool. He's just got passion for it, and that's what's important, you know, and that's what's going to, you know, make this series better, is someone that's passionate about it and that will keep working and trying to get it bigger and better every year. And you know, with the title sponsor that he's got now, that's good too. So I think we're in a good direction. And you know, also, you know, I know not all of us, but some of us have our vlogs and stuff like that. That, you know, people are watching globally. That's putting it on the map too. So that, you know, that always helps yourself and you know, Phil on Paul and everything. So no, it's good. I think it's only going to get better.
Willsy, mate, this one's for you. You had a seat on a factory team. You're going to be privateer this year. You're sitting to the right of a lot of international guys that have taken Australian factory rides for this series specifically. Is it motivating to know that you've got a chance to prove yourself against some of the best guys in the world, or is it frustrating to kind of be on the outside of seats that, you know, potentially you could have occupied?
Obviously, there's nothing that I love more than to beat him. It's hard because I'm next to a lot of full-time guys, and I'm obviously not at that stage in my career anymore. I just love Supercross for what it is. I love the series. It's just such an awesome time of year. So for me, trying to step back into a ride is always hard. I managed it last year with the Gas team. Got myself a seat. But it is hard to expect, you know, you have to be lucky. Like, you have to have someone like Gypsy on KTM who races motocross only. So it's really hard to expect that. Obviously, you know, there was a time there where it looked like I was going to be on CDR, and that would have been awesome, and I didn't. But for me, like, it's cool, man. I put together my own deal. Aside from the travel, like having to do that stuff myself, it's fun. Like, I do it with my missus, I do it with my dad again. It's fun, man, and I really, really like it. So for how my deal is right now, man, my motivation is to try and be the top Yamaha. Is it going to happen straight away? No, probably not. I've only been on it for 3.5 weeks. But we can get there. Like, the bike is incredible. I've only been on it for a short amount of time, and I'm riding it really good. So we'll get there. We'll keep chipping away for the first 2 rounds in solid, and then I'm coming for him.
Craig, I asked this one to the boys, but you guys have chosen to race the 26 450 this year. Yamaha kind of surprised people, I guess, with quite a lot of changes to their bike. Does it speak to CDR's capability as a race team that you guys can develop a motorcycle ready to race this quickly? Like, I believe you guys only got it 3 or 4 weeks ago, a bit longer, but I mean, big change for you guys to develop a new motorcycle in such a short period of time. What goes into the thought process of actually pulling the trigger on something like that?
Well, firstly, the easy way is just to stay with the same bike, because you just that just morphs into a Supercross bike. But the way it goes, as we all know, manufacturer's platform is about a 5-year cycle. This bike is in its 3rd year. Usually about the 3rd year of the cycle, they've kind of ironed out all those, you know, idiosyncrasies, or big things. We were chasing clutch issues in the early stages of that model. We got on top of that, and Japan has got on top of that now, 3 years later. So it seems by about the 3rd year, they've all sorted out all the little bugs. So obviously we get a lot of the information way in advance through a PIG, product information guide from the factory. So we're able to assess the bike, and all the changes that they made were the feedback coming to them from other riders, the star riders, the Rinaldi riders, or whatever they call them in Europe, and a little bit us. And so all those indications on the bike were, well, let's ride it, it's going to be better. The 26 model, the biggest thing that was probably a hindrance on it in 2027, the noise limits will come into Australia where it will be 109 decibel, well now it's 112. So Yamaha's already made an airbox that's compensated that noise, so we actually had to do a fair bit of work with the airbox. That was the main thing. In fact, we went back to a 25 airbox. The engine was pretty easy, that's normal stuff, that's just dyno and do your thing. Made a lot of advances with the ignition actually, special launch control and things like that. The geometry of the bike was slightly different, but not a lot. It was more short-footed. Riders were complaining about not having great feel with the front end, the previous model, and this one has advanced that. So anybody that rides likes a better feeling in the front end, so that was positive straight away. The suspension and all that, as I said, the geometry was very similar, so that was just keep going as per normal. Plus, most importantly, Yamaha, because the bike has just been launched, it's in that window now, let's get it out there and ride it and let people see it. And the whole end goal is to try and win to promote the new model.
I guess just to maybe go off the back of that, and this could be for any of you guys to answer, the depth thing, how do we do two things at the same time? Bring riders over that can be competitive enough to win championships for any of the manufacturers, while also developing that next level of talent? Is that maybe up to the 250 class, or do we have to kind of really actively think about how we are creating that next Australian superstar?
The real challenge is our calendar. We race motocross, arguably we start in January and we finish mid to late August. That's primarily why we go for international riders. They're coming off 6-7 months of Supercross, add SMX on that, they're primed and ready. Until we start changing our calendar of events and introducing more rounds, which is not cost effective at the moment, it's a real challenge. That's the primary reason that we're not seeing the talent evolve here in Australia. It's not that we don't have talented riders. Luke Clout is amazing. Aaron Tanti, one of the greatest talents I've seen in Supercross, and unfortunately they just don't get the time on the bike. We don't have the resource or arguably the population that we need to justify another 5 or 6 rounds. Therefore, the only thing that we can do to compete at the highest level is look overseas to countries like France, like America, particularly America, where riders are riding Supercross nearly 6 months of the year. Here they ride Supercross for 5 weeks before they get ready, at best 5 weeks before they get ready for round 1. It's going to be a constant struggle, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with all of the things that you have said. I think probably the thing that we need on our side at the moment is time. The series has gone through an influx of different promoters over the years and all that sort of stuff, and I think what Adam and Kelly and their team now are doing is a really, really good thing. And they've got us all on a much surer footing, and it's on a really positive trajectory, which is exciting for everybody. I think what they're doing now with SX3, I think that's the next guys. I think there's not many places in the world that they can tack on an SX3 class, and they do every round of the championship with the other guys. And I think they are our next guys, but it's going to take some time. So I think if we can keep the trajectory like this, we will see the next Australian kids coming through. But yeah, like you Reeve said, I think what Luke and Aaron did last year, I think they're both very, very competitive, but it's just going to be tough.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.